Okay, we should be live now for my second session of the awesome Booking Manager Summit. Hello to everyone who's watching. Hello to everyone who saw my first session about an hour ago. And hello to anyone new who's joining this for the first time. This is going to be advanced social selling strategies. We're going to dig in deep. So again, for anyone who was on the first session, that was sort of the basics, 3 steps to kind of get started with social selling. In this session, I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to reveal some sort of secret strategies that I only usually give away in sort of paid full training sessions. Some of the stuff that I'm going to share with you today, I've never done on a webinar or for an event like this. So strap yourselves in, get your notepads ready, and hopefully you'll be able to take a lot away from this session. Let me get the screen shared and we will get started. Okay, here we go. Advanced social selling secrets for the Booking Manager Summit, and being done virtually. Everything was on plan for me to be there with you in person in Croatia today, but unfortunately the circumstances of 2020 and the wonderful pandemic have meant that I can't be there with you in person. So we're doing this virtually. I will deliver the session with the same energy that I would have done it in person. There will be time for questions at the end, and if you have questions after the session, my contact details will be there as well, so please do get in touch. I'm keen to help everyone who's listening, watching this, really get the most out of LinkedIn and social selling. So let's dig in. Got a lot to cover in this, some really sort of big things to cover. So for anyone who doesn't know who I am, my name is Daniel Disney, and I am a LinkedIn and social selling trainer, speaker and author. I'm the author of the book, The £1 Million LinkedIn Message, and I've just finished my second book, which is going to be the ultimate LinkedIn sales guide, which is going to be coming out about April next year. So keep an eye out for that one. I'm also the founder and owner of The Daily Sales, which is LinkedIn's most popular page for salespeople. My passion is helping businesses, salespeople, sales teams get the most out of LinkedIn as a lead generation and sales generating tool. So this is going to be advanced social selling strategies. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to cover in this session that dig really deep into how you can get more from LinkedIn. One of the things I wanted to open up with, one of the biggest misconceptions in the world of LinkedIn and social selling, is the difference between marketing and selling. So a lot of people think LinkedIn is just a marketing tool, which in a lot of ways it can be. You create content and you drive inbound leads. People come to you with opportunities. That's marketing. That's not really selling. Salespeople become order takers in that kind of process. Now, as a salesperson, and I'm a very driven, focused, hungry salesperson who wants to go and create opportunities, I don't want to sit back and wait for opportunities to come to me. I want to go out and create them. And that's where the selling comes into it. So a lot of the things we're going to cover in today's session includes going out and creating opportunities, not just doing all the fluffy stuff on LinkedIn content and stuff like that, but actually going out and creating conversations. That's the difference between marketing and selling. Marketing drives people to you, which is great. Who doesn't want more leads coming in? Selling is about going out and starting conversations with people that otherwise may not have come to you in the first place. So today's session is going to be focused heavily on that sales spirit, that hunter sales spirit. So tip number 1, and there's quite a lot of tips in today's session, so get ready to take notes. Tip number 1 is check your profile views every single day. So it's easy to do. Go onto your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn will say a number of people have viewed your profile. You click that button and LinkedIn will show you who's viewed your profile. Now, if you've got the free basic LinkedIn account, you'll be able to see the most recent 3 or 4 people. If you've upgraded and you pay for LinkedIn Sales Navigator or LinkedIn Premium, you'll be able to see everyone that's viewed your profile. Now, if you're not massively active on LinkedIn and you've got the free account, being able to see 3 or 4 of the most recent views is fine, as long as you check it sort of once, twice a day. As you start to become more active on LinkedIn and you start to drive a lot more people to your profile, it may be time to look at the paid upgrade, but only when you can justify it, when it's bringing in business that you can justify to cover the cost. It's not cheap, but you can keep on top of it for a while. So check your profile views once, twice, 3 times a day max. I tend to check morning, lunch, and afternoon, and then I can keep on top of it. And then pre-qualify. So qualify people that look like prospects, and obviously qualify people out that definitely aren't going to be prospects, and send them a message. I've created so many sales opportunities doing this activity. And messages like this: "Hi Sarah, thank you for visiting my LinkedIn profile today. I'd love to know what sales engagement platform your sales team is currently using, if they are using one yet." I might put, "I'd love to know what social selling training your team has done recently. Kind regards, Dan." Just a nice opener, but to the point question. No dancing around, just asking them what's relevant to you and what you sell. I've used that template so many times, and it's created me so many opportunities. Again, qualified people in and out. I wouldn't mass send that out to every single profile view, but if someone has some of the signs of your ideal customer, then absolutely pop them that message. Obviously connect with them if you're not already connected. Pop them a message. You'd be surprised how many people will reply. It's the same principle, and we all do this where we look to buy something or go on a website. I mean, the amount of websites that I've added items into my checkout but never actually finished and bought it is crazy. And people do that in the business to business sector as well. They'll look at websites, they'll look at your profiles with an interest in buying, but they just won't get across the line. And a lot of those opportunities get lost. A lot of people with their websites, they don't check who's viewing. There's so many software platforms that allow you to see who views your website visitors and then convert them into leads. And it's the same with your LinkedIn profile. People are visiting it with potential intention to buy. And unless you're checking it, you might be just missing out on them completely. They might, go away, end up looking at your competition, your competitors get in touch with them, and they win the business. Don't let that happen. Check your profile views and message people that look like they could be customers. I want to dig into some deeper LinkedIn searches. And again, there's a few of these that I would only ever deliver in paid training. So you guys are in for a bit of a treat today. Some real in-depth searches that you can do to find your prospects and customers. We covered this morning, by the way, for anyone who missed it, we covered searching the content filter. So looking at content for sales opportunities. Another great place to look at groups. Now, groups aren't massively active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's neglected them for quite a few years now. The best place for groups on social media is Facebook, but there are still large numbers of people in groups on LinkedIn. And so there is still a benefit and there's still opportunities within them. So I would look for all of the relevant industry groups to your industry, to the product and service that you sell, and then make sure you join them and be active. Don't invest a ton of time in them, but be active. Share content once or twice a week, engage in posts a couple of times a week, get your name in there. LinkedIn's planning to revive their groups, and I reckon it will be something that will come in 2021. This year has been focused on new features, and I think as we go into next year, they're going to start refocusing back on their existing features. Groups is top of their list. Groups used to be the best on LinkedIn, and I think they'll bring that back. So by putting a bit of time in now and being active, it will help when they do start to then refocus on them. So groups is another great one. Another great place to look for opportunities is jobs. So you can search for jobs by a keyword. So I could search boat for jobs and it will show me all the jobs in the boat industry. Obviously sales is an example there. Now, again, a job shows many different signals. It shows a company's growing. It shows there could be someone new coming into a position. That could be your decision maker, your target decision maker's position, someone within their team. So many buying signals that can be identified through a job opportunity. Often when you click on the job opportunity on LinkedIn, it will show you who at the company is recruiting. So you can kind of find someone who might be a route in, and it might be just using them for an introduction. So I might find out that Sarah is recruiting for Cortman Textiles in the example on the screen. And I might send Sarah a message saying, Sarah, I can see you're recruiting for a sales marketing coordinator at the moment. I've shared it with my network to try and help you hopefully get a few more applicants. Wondering if you might be able to introduce me to, and then ask for an introduction. You've done something, you've given value, and you've provided a route in. Sarah might not be the person you want to speak to, but she'll have a better chance at connecting you with the person who is. This is where that sales hunger comes in. Unless you've got that, you'll probably skip past opportunities like this. But when you really do want the sale, when you are driven, you'll find opportunities all over LinkedIn. And that's what I'm hoping to uncover with you guys and girls today. All right. LinkedIn Boolean search is sort of LinkedIn's most comprehensive search. Again, this is something I only ever cover in paid training. So this is the sort of most filtered search you can physically do on LinkedIn. And if you imagine a funnel, when you're searching for prospects, you want that funnel to narrow down so what you get at the end are the most qualified potential prospects possible. And that's what a Boolean search does. And it's based on 3 searching functions: and, or, and not. So those 3 searches you can kind of see there at the top are going to help you really whittle down your prospects to find the most relevant to you. So let me give you a quick example of how this works. 3 different ways you use together. So the first one is or. So let's say you're looking for someone who has a specific qualification. So in the example, in the IT industry, they would need technical qualifications. In this example, we're looking at things like Java, J2EE, JSP, could be JavaScript. These are all qualifications that a technician would have. So if you wanted to search to find people that had those or fit within those parameters, you would put, as the example says at the bottom, Java, or in capitals, J2EE, or in capitals again, JSP, and so on and so forth. And you can then really sort of branch out. I might search for sales leaders. So I might put director or manager or VP, and it just helps you search for more than just one. Whereas normally you would probably just put sales director, you can actually start to expand that search. Now you can take it a step further and then expand those parameters with an additional filter. So I've got the qualification, Java, J2EE, JSP. I put a bracket around those, put an and in capital letters in between, and then brackets, and I add in another filter. So in this example, it could be job title, engineer or architect or lead or supervisor. And I can start to then add in, I've got qualifications and a position all in one single search. So I put that in the search bar, click search, and it's going to start to filter through all of those things, which again is not something that's easy to do on LinkedIn. The final component to a Boolean search is and not. So you can exclude results. So for example, you could exclude your existing customers. So I'm searching for these things and not, and then you're going to list the companies you already work with or companies that you don't want to come up in the results. So again, it's cleaning those results. So what you get at the end are people that match all those qualification criteria and exclude things that you don't want to show up, because if you don't want to go through that list, no, already work with them, no, already prospecting them, no, already speaking with them, that's effort, that's time. Clear that out. All you've got then at the end of it should be really, really good prospects. So a Boolean search, really powerful way of searching to really filter down and find your ideal customers. So and, or, and not. And just remember the format is important. I've got a guide for this if anyone wants a copy, because after today, if you are not sure how to use it again, just ping me a message or an email and I will send you this. So you've got these slides to be able to use. It is a tricky one to remember, and the format is important. The brackets, the capital letters, the way it is connected is, crucial to how it works. So if you haven't taken notes and you want to use this in the future, just ping me a message and I will send you the slides for this one so you can actually see and use it in the future. Another great place to find prospects that so many people miss is the people also viewed section. So I used to look at LinkedIn profiles like Jamie's profile on the slide. I'd look at Jamie and think, yep, okay, potential prospect, I'll connect, I'll send a message, fantastic, click back and go back to my search results. And what took me a while to realize is on the right-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner, LinkedIn had this chart of people also viewed. And these are similar people in similar positions in similar companies. And I'd start looking through thinking, wow, prospect, prospect, prospect. And there'd be several great prospects in that list that weren't on my radar already. So as a salesperson or someone looking to find customers, having a look at those on people's profiles can be really beneficial. I found so many customers through those lists. So make it a conscious effort. Every time you're on someone's profile, look at who LinkedIn is telling you is similar to that person, because LinkedIn's essentially saying, hey, there's some more potential customers right over here. They're helping you sell. However, there is a snag to this, and I don't want this to then bite you. So when you set up your profile, chances are this will be happening on your profile. So when I visit your profile today, LinkedIn's going to be doing the same. They're going to show me similar people in similar jobs. Now, let's say I was a potential prospect or customer of yours. LinkedIn's going to show me on your profile similar people in similar jobs. Who does that sound like? Sounds like your competition. It sounds like it's going to show me similar people in your role. So similar salespeople in similar companies. So similar companies offering what you offer. Yeah, it's going to include your competitors. So you don't want LinkedIn to direct your prospects and customers to your competitors. So we want to switch that off. We want to use it for our advantage when we're selling, but we don't want it to bite us in the back when we're trying to sell at the same time. So if you go into your settings, into privacy settings, and then it's third or fourth down the line, and you will see viewers of this profile also viewed, and you can switch it to off. So then it's gone. And then when someone's on your profile, all they see is your profile. LinkedIn won't show them or direct them anywhere else. They will just see you. So use it when you're prospecting to find potential customers, but then make sure you switch it off on your profile so you're not directing your potential prospects and customers to your competitors or to anywhere else. You want them to stay focused on your profile. Okay, the last one. This is the biggest search that I've used and my favorite search of all time. And it is one that I don't teach normally unless it's in a paid group. And it's not one I ever broadcast on social media. So this is called ghost searching. And it's the LinkedIn backdoor, basically, which is why I don't broadcast it, because I don't want them to lock that backdoor at the moment it's still usable. Very simple. You go into Google, and you go into the Google search bar and you type in www.linkedin.com/, and then you type whatever you want. Now, few ways this can be used. Number one, some people hide their profiles on LinkedIn. So some decision makers, because they don't want to be sold to, understandably, hide their profiles. So it doesn't matter how good your searching are. You could use the Boolean search, you won't find them. You could go onto their company page, scroll through all the employees, you won't see them. All it will say is LinkedIn member, no picture, no information. You can't visit the profile, you can't connect with them. They're invisible. With a ghost search, you can find them. A few other areas it helps before I talk you through how you do it. Some people obviously don't have all of their profile information on there. They don't appear in the company searches. Sometimes you will use up your search limits. So if you've got the free LinkedIn, you are limited to how many searches you can do per month. I used to use up my search limits about halfway through every single month. Once you've used up your limits, you can't search anymore, which is very tedious. Again, with a ghost search, you can still do that. Equally, you might not know who the decision maker is. So instead of scrolling through the employee lists or trying to find it on LinkedIn, you can just put the job title and company in Google and it will show you who it is. Now, as I mentioned at the start, I've just finished writing my second book and I've included this in the book to come out April next year. And I put in linkedin.com/the daily sales. So I typed in my own company and literally third thing down the list, it shows my LinkedIn profile. So if someone wanted to sell to the daily sales, as many people do, all they'd have to do is do a ghost search, put in the company name, and it's going to show them that I am obviously the founder and owner of the daily sales. Boom, there's your target decision maker. They can go to my profile, connect with me, send me a message, and start pitching to me. So ghost searching does a lot of various things. As I said, it's the backdoor to LinkedIn. So if you were trying to find someone on LinkedIn and they'd hidden their profile, you wouldn't be able to find them. When you go through Google, Google doesn't search it through your profile. So it doesn't do it through LinkedIn, it does it through Google. When you then click on, so let's say Denise in this example, in the slide, had hidden her profile. Do the Google search, it shows you that Denise is the HR director at Apple. Fantastic. When I click on Denise's profile through the Google link, it will take me to her profile, even if it's hidden on LinkedIn. Even if I couldn't find it on LinkedIn, by doing it through Google, it will take me to her profile and it will give me the opportunity to connect with her. So Google will help you find people that have hidden their profiles. It will help you bypass the search restrictions. If you've used up your search limits on LinkedIn, you can just go onto Google and continue to search freely. And you can type in anything, HR director, Apple, HR director, IT, marketing director, pharmaceuticals. And it's just going to show you all of the profiles that fit that bill. Key is Google search engine, www.linkedin.com/, and then whatever you put in is going to help you find, again, whatever is relevant to the terms you put in. So I will do it to search for sales directors, marketing directors, VPs, etc., event directors for speaking, kind of stuff like that. Really easy to use, really powerful, and again, unlimited as to how much you use it. Just don't broadcast it too much, because I don't want LinkedIn to lock that back door so it doesn't work anymore. But I've been using this for 6, 7, 8 years now, pretty much my entire social selling career, and it's still working to this date. So fingers crossed it stays like that. Very powerful searching tool. Okay, now when you do find prospects and customers, you then have a choice, an important choice. Do you connect with them or do you follow them? And there is a big difference. So when you follow someone, like if I was to follow Brit as the example in the slide, I would get to see all of Brit's content, which is very powerful, gives me a lot of insights. I can engage in Brit's content. When I connect, Brit has to accept. So he'll get a message saying Dan wants to connect, and he has to accept, or he can decline. Now, from experience, most people will accept openly. It is the minority that don't, that are more picky, and it tends to be the higher up the hierarchy they are, that they then start to make sort of better judgments on who they connect with. Again, normally decision makers who don't want to be sold to by every salesperson who's trying to connect with them. So there's a few ways around this. I'm going to give you some examples of personalized messages you can send with the connection request. But one of the best strategies that I've used, again, talking advanced strategies, is to follow key decision makers first. So I would follow Brit on LinkedIn first, follow his content, and engage in his content for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how frequent he's posting. And then I would send him a connection request. So I would click like on 2, 3, 4 of his posts. I would write a comment on a couple, get my name in front of him, in his eyes, so that he starts to recognize me in a positive way. So when in a week or 2 weeks time, I send a connection request, I'm not just Dan, the random salesperson. Oh, that's Dan. Yeah, he's been commenting on my posts, had some good comments. He's been engaging. Nice guy. I'm going to accept. You severely increase the chances that they accept quite dramatically. So following first can be a very clever strategy when trying to connect with senior decision makers, directors, C-level, CEOs, VPs, etc. Higher up the chain, the more this strategy works. Obviously, when you do then send a connection request, personalizing it does make a big difference. You don't have to personalize all of them. Lower down the chain, don't worry about it. Higher up, it's relevant. Just make sure you personalize it the right way. So a few templates, did a couple of these this morning, then there's 1 or 2 extra ones. First one, hi Tom, love to connect, kind regards Dan. It's simple, but it shows that you want to connect with them and not just anyone. Referencing content is another great one. Hi Tony, loved your post recently about sales, would love to connect, kind regards Dan. Bit of flattery makes them feel good. If you can leverage a mutual connection, this is also very powerful, but I would highly recommend verifying it first. So I get lots of connection requests that say, hi Dan, we have 36 mutual connections. I'd love to connect. Why the hell does us having 36 connections give me any reason to want to connect with you? And that's what decision makers will think. It's not relevant to them. Us having mutual connections has zero relevance or value to me. So using a mutual connection only works if it's a verified mutual connection. So if I'm trying to connect with Tony and I see that John is a mutual connection of ours, I will speak to John first. And I would phone message John and say, hi, John, look, I'm trying to get in touch with Tony. I see that, we're both connected, or you're both connected. What's your relationship like with him? If John says, oh yeah, I know Tony really well, we worked together for years, then I'll say, okay, do you mind me using your name as a sort of an introduction? And John will say, yes, fine, great. Then it's valuable. However, if I just look on our mutual connections, pick a name, message Tony, I was recommended to connect with you by John Smith, Tony could turn around and saying, I don't know John Smith. Just because we're connected on LinkedIn doesn't mean I know them. So check first. Once you've got a verified one, again, this works very well. Just making sure you guys do this right. This isn't some sort of shortcut that you can reference a name and then it's going to get you straight in. You need to make sure it's valid. All right. Here comes the next bit then. So you've connected with a prospect or a customer. Fantastic. What you don't want to then do is fall into the trap of messaging them straight away. And happens to me all the time. accept a connection request, and in less than 24 hours, sometimes as quick as 5 minutes, you get a sales pitch in your inbox. And we don't want to do that. We want to send good messages. So I'm going to share with you first, before I share with you some templates for good messages, and I'm going to share with you some top tips for audio voice note messaging and video messaging, which is, I mean, I've only created this training this year for these. I want to share with you the number one winning cadence or process. So this is the sort of series of events that's worked best for me and the teams that I've worked with recently in terms of generating the best results. And it goes like this. Connect with a prospect or a customer. So this isn't a follow. This is when you actually get them to connect and accept that connection. Engage in their content. So get them used to your name, liking and commenting on some of their posts. Ideally, also creating your own content so they're getting value from your content as well. Then when you've done that for a week or two, send them a LinkedIn message to start a conversation. I'm going to give you some examples of that. The goal of that message is to then get them onto, if they're qualified and it, is the right time, onto an email, a call, a Zoom virtual meeting, or a face-to-face meeting if you're able to do it, to qualify them properly, and then it becomes an opportunity. This is the process that works a lot of the time, but it's not all of the time. Sometimes it goes in a different type of angle. Sometimes you connect, you do the content engagement, you send a message, they don't reply, so you jump to the email or call anyway as an alternative to try and get their attention. Still follows a similar sort of journey, but sometimes it's not always as black and white as that. I'm going to share with you some templates now for messaging, but an important note is that one size doesn't fit all. So there isn't one message you can just send out to everyone and it's going to work. The biggest tip I can give you in messaging is personalize, but don't just personalize, hyper personalize. The more personal you can make it, the better. So you really need to treat each individual message on its own. If you try and create a template and then just copy paste, send it out to everyone, it really doesn't yield great results on LinkedIn. LinkedIn works better, even if you're sending less, if the quality is much higher. There is 25 LinkedIn message templates in my book. The book's available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. So if you are looking to leverage LinkedIn and messaging to create sales opportunities, I would recommend checking it out. It's got tons of social selling tips in it, but it's got 25 templates. I'm going to share with you some of those templates now. Anyway, so here are a few ones that have worked for me. Number one, hi, Michael. Thank you for connecting. I work for a company called Daily Sales. We have 600,000 salespeople and sales leaders in our audience and help companies selling to sales teams reach them. If I can ever be of help, please do let me know. Kind regards, Dan. This is the seed planter template. So this works when it's the right time for them, but it also plants the seed which can grow over time. So if I message this to Michael and by coincidence he is looking for ways to reach a larger audience of customers, then great, he's going to reply and we'll probably have a good conversation and it will become an opportunity. That's sometimes a needle in a haystack in reality, but even if Michael's not ready, this plants a seed. Chances are Michael will see it, he'll read it. If it's not the right time, he probably won't reply, but it will stay in there. Now, if I back this up by continuing to put out content and building my personal brand, when the time is right, Michael will remember me because he would have seen me on a regular basis on LinkedIn. He will know what I do because it's pushed out through the content that I put out. And then when the time is right, he'll reply. I've had people reply to this message 6 months, 12 months, 18 months later when they're ready to buy. So planting the seed can take time to grow. If you're lucky, it's the right time, right place, then you'll get an opportunity there and then, but it does work. Referencing content is another great one. Hi, Michael. Loved your post on LinkedIn today with your home office setup. I wanted to ask quickly, which microphone is it that you use? I'm struggling to find a good one. Kind regards, Dan. This has nothing to do with what you're selling, but it starts a conversation. And with so many people posting photos of their home office setups and the equipment they use, it's a really easy way to get your foot in the door and ask a question. Michael's going to send you back, oh, I use this one. Oh, thanks. And you can have a bit of a conversation before you start to swerve it into maybe a qualification type conversation, talking more about the company, their role, and maybe what systems or processes they use. Getting a new job is obviously a great buying signal. So if someone's new in a role, they are more likely to be open to new providers or suppliers. So something like this: "Hi, Michael, congratulations on your new role at Salesforce. Just wanted to pop you a quick message as I run the daily sales, which is over 600,000 salespeople and sales leaders following our page. I'd love to see if we can help you promote Salesforce to them." So for me, and the key, when you think back to some of these message templates, the key I focus on is the value to them straight away. So when I talk about the audience and helping them reach it, when I'm messaging marketing departments, that is their goal. They want to reach more of their target buyers to generate more traffic and more inbound leads. That's what marketing is focused on. And that's why I focus that in the message. I'm not just talking about what the daily sales does. I could just put, I run the daily sales, which shares content for salespeople. That doesn't mean a lot to them. But the audience is the key thing. Again, it could be if I'm selling social selling LinkedIn training, then I will talk about the results I can get for the teams that I work with. So, hi, Michael. I'm a LinkedIn and social selling trainer. I help companies, salespeople, and sales teams grow anywhere up to 5 times their sales pipeline using LinkedIn as a sales tool. If I can ever be of help, let me know. Again, it's focusing on what's going to be relevant to them. It's not about your product, it's how it can help them. So top tips on LinkedIn messaging. Remember, it's an instant message, not an email. So short and sweet. I've had some messages that come through that are so long and it's too long. It's an instant message. It's like a WhatsApp. It's like a text. These are short messages. Best used to start conversations. Really difficult to, pitch an entire product or a solution, but good to open the door to then arrange a phone call, Zoom, get an email address, etc. Make them engaging, make them as personal as possible. The more relevant and personal to them you can make it, the more likely you'll get a positive response. Keep them short and sweet, and always think, would you read and reply to that message? Okay, so written messaging has dominated LinkedIn from the start. Over the last sort of year and a half, 2 years now, we've seen the rise and continued rise of LinkedIn audio messaging and video messaging. So you can send audio notes, which are like short sort of voice notes via LinkedIn Messenger, and you can send videos via LinkedIn Messenger. And these are next level engagement. Not only do they get to read your words, they get to hear your voice and potentially see your face. So a few top tips on the audio messaging function. Very similar to voicemail. They're just little audio notes. Some people send 3, 4, 5 audio notes for a single conversation. Others will just send one at a time, but very much like voicemails. These are basic tips, but speak clearly. Don't be looking down at the table when you're recording it. Posture right, smile. It all makes a difference to your voice. Speak with energy. Again, you don't want to speak in the same boring tone as if you're reading off a piece of paper and you don't really care what you're talking about. You want to talk to them as if they were there, and you want to be engaging and positive. Make them feel like they want to speak to you. So make it as engaging as you can. Smile when speaking. It makes a big difference, and give them a good reason to message back. So again, hyper personalize it, make it very relevant to them. Need to be sub 30 seconds for the first sort of messages. Once you're having a bit of a back and forth, you can then go up to maybe a minute, but I wouldn't push past that. They work really well for follow-ups. So if you're further down the sales process and you're struggling to chase them on something, voice notes can be quite a good nudge. I've seen them, be very effective. Hi, Sarah, it's Dan. I sent the proposal a few days ago. Just wanted to check that you got it. Please let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything you want me to change in it. Again, it's a nice little nudge, but instead of it just being in words, in a message or an email, it's your voice. And because you're going to say it in a nice, engaging, positive way, it's going to be reassuring to them that, again, you're not just badgering them for the sale, but you genuinely want to help them. They can hear it in your tone. So be aware of all those things. Okay, then you've got video messaging. Now, this is what I believe is going to be the next big wave in sales, is video in emails, video in LinkedIn messages, and obviously video from a content perspective. Video is growing massively. These work really well because not only do they get to sort of see your words and hear your voice, they see your face. You can look at them as if you were in the room with them. And in everything that's happened this year, we've become a lot more accustomed to virtual conversations, which is why video results are just on the rise massively. But a few really important tips. Again, you wouldn't hire a salesperson, give them a phone and some phone numbers and let them phone your customers. I hope you wouldn't do that. And it's no different with video. Telling your salespeople, yep, go start sending video messages, you're gonna see them make a lot of mistakes. get them training first, get them the tools that they need, and they'll send far better videos that will create far better results. Some of the details to think about: find a good background. I have a green screen behind me. I don't know if I'm wave, you might be able to slightly see the green between my hands. I have a green screen behind me, and obviously the summit has created a virtual background as if I'm there essentially in front of a background of theirs, but it's digital and it looks great. You could have, you know, digital corporate backgrounds created for your salespeople to use, and then send them out a green screen that they can have behind them, so it, you know, looks pretty perfect. Dress appropriately. So I'm here in my red t-shirt with the social selling on. This is my brand. This is my uniform. And this is suitable for the customers that I sell to. In previous roles, I would have wore a shirt and a jacket, maybe a shirt and a tie or a suit. It depends on who you sell to. Dress appropriately. I've seen a few videos from people selling quite expensive items to professional people, and they're there in sports branded hoodies, you know, dressed in their real casual clothes, just because, you know, they're at home and that's what they wear at home. You know, if you're going to be presenting yourself to a customer, dress as if you were seeing them face to face. Know what you're going to say. Now, there's the fine balance between having a script and not knowing what you're going to say at all. So if you tip the scales and you read off a script, it's not going to work, because you'll be sat there reading it word for word. You know, it's going to sound automated. Whereas if you go the other way and you have nothing to say, and what I've seen a lot of videos come across like, they'll be like, hi, Sarah, my name's Dan. Yeah, I just wanted to send you a quick message. Just wanted to talk about, and they don't know what they're saying. They have to piece together the gaps. You need to find that sweet spot in the middle where you don't have a script, but you have guidelines, key points that you want to say. But then you also bring in your own personality. Every time I talk about this in a session, I start to say more, or I'm aware of me saying more. So apologies for that. This is not a pre-recorded message. So know what you're going to say. Hyper personalize it. Make it as much about them as you can. Avoid those ums and erms. Speak with passion and energy. Again, look at them as if you were speaking to them. If you want them to be confident in you, you need to show that you have confidence in yourself and the business. And look at the camera. A lot of sales, see, I'm saying it again. A lot of salespeople, and myself included, when I started to record videos, don't look at the camera. They look everywhere else in the room, because that's what we would normally do. The person would be somewhere else. Looking at a camera and talking is not born with skill. You have to kind of train yourself to do it. So practice just looking at the camera. My advice for audio and video is practice. You don't have to send it. You can practice first. Record some audio messages, record yourself in front of a camera, and just get comfortable and confident with doing it. And then think about those little details. So posture, smile, tone, eye contact, details like the background, what you're wearing, all these things make an impact. But these are very effective forms of messaging. Now I use a platform called Vidyard, which has a totally free version to use. So Vidyard, Vidyard. What they do fantastically is allow you to record a video in front of a screen. So kind of like you're seeing me now in front of the training screen. You could do a video where you're on their LinkedIn profile or you're on their website. And when we talk about hyper personalization, it doesn't get more personal than that. They know you've recorded that message for them. It's not some generic message you're spamming out to everyone. It's a message for them. So it's really easy to use. And as you say, I could do a video where I then scroll through their profile and tell them why I'm sending them that message, why I believe I can help them. Takes personalization to the next level. Again, they have a free version to use. I used the free version for about 18 months, and then I upgraded to the pro version, and they have a Teams and Enterprise version as well. But amazing platform, really simple to use, and it really helps you send better video messages.
Hey Dan, it's Dan here from Soapbox. Wanted to pop you a quick video. I was just having a look at your profile. Huge fan of your content. I actually had a quick look at your video here on YouTube, the 7 social selling tips. Great talk, great energy. Really love what you're saying. And I wanted to pop you a quick video. I work for Soapbox, and we provide sort of camera recording equipment for your desk. So it's a mixture of a camera, a light, along with a microphone. Now, I know you're a big advocate for video. You talk about it a lot in your content and in your sessions. And I wondered whether you'd A, come across Soapbox before, or B, whether you might be interested in having having a look at the equipment that we offer. It may be something that could be good for your own camera setup, but also maybe for the students that you teach around LinkedIn and social selling, and obviously encouraging them to create video as well. Either way, I'd love to show you some of our new Soapbox setups and just have a quick chat really to understand what your thoughts are on the use of video in sales and in the future. If it's something you're interested in, pop me a message back and we'll get something booked in, and I hope to speak to you soon. Take care.
So this always freaks me out having me talk and I'm here. Bizarre thing. Anyway, this was an example I recorded where it's me selling to me, but I'm working for a company that sells camera equipment. So Soapbox do these great camera setups, but it was just an example to show you kind of how it flows. But you can imagine getting that as a prospect. You know, there's a salesperson, they're on the profile and they're referencing you several different ways. It's a really, really powerful way to send video messages. So let's get to the next slide. There we go. Okay, so that's messaging. So we've covered some profile tips, some searching tips. We've covered connecting and we've covered messaging. Now I want to dig into content. Again, in this morning's session, we went through some of the core sort of basic forms of content. So posts, photos, things like that. Now what I want to dig into is how you can write good blogs on LinkedIn. Articles are one of the best forms of content, hands down, offer some of the best results from a lead generation and a sales opportunity perspective, but they're also a lot trickier to write. A lot more needs to go into this than just writing a quick update. So I'm going to talk you through some of the top tips of creating really good articles. These are sometimes read more than used. Some people consume a lot of their content through blogs. Great ways to offer insight and information. The blog shouldn't be about your product or the business, but about something that's valuable to your audience. One of the key things is they need to have a call to action at the end and an about you. That's where you can convert the opportunities better. Some of the key things though, choose and have a good image for the blog itself and have a good title, and then make sure your blog flows. So I'm going to talk you through and show you one of my articles to show you the exact structure that I use. So first of all, I've got a bit of a humor-based image, the sad truth of sales in 2019. Sales manager, give them a call. Sales rep, I've emailed them. Manager, be quicker to call them. Sales rep, I've texted them as well. Manager, just call them. I'll send another email. And it's that sort of humorous where there are some salespeople that don't want a phone, so they'll do everything but pick up the phone and call. And so that leads on to the title, nice and engaging. Just pick up the phone and call. Something I know would resonate with the sales managers out there who want their reps making more calls. Kind of still a problem now, to be fair. Now I write this as if I was speaking. So I start this off. There is a serious problem plaguing sales teams across the world, ... It's like a dangerous and contagious sales virus infecting salespeople old and young. Do you know what? Every time I've read this year, I don't think I could have written this blog in 2020. Seems quite ironic that I wrote this in 2019. Anyway, left unchecked, it could destroy any chances of sales success. What is this problem, you ask? The fear of the phone. And you take people on a journey. I'm not going to read you the entire article, but you take them through the process. So I share a story about how a similar thing happened to me with one of my sales teams that I was training. And again, they were doing everything but pick up the phone and phone their prospects. So, my sort of shocked reaction when they said they were waiting for a reply. And I said, why are you waiting? Why didn't you just pick up the phone and give them a call? So again, sort of highlighting why people sometimes avoid the phone. The fear is the thing that tends to hold them back, and then some sort of advice on how they can go out there, and obviously a nice motivating end. If you really want the sale, you'll let nothing stand in your way. Go out there today, look at your opportunities and look at all the amazing tools at your disposal. Be creative, be persistent, be passionate, and try harder than you've ever tried to go out there and help people solve more problems with your product. Nice motivating end. This is where the important part comes in. So I've given a lot of value in that article. It's entertaining, it's motivating, it's educating. When it gets to the end, I then have two things I need to do. Number one is a call to action. Now, if I quickly take you back, you should be able to see here 102,000 people, 816 viewed this article. So this is the amount of people that read the article. That's a lot of people. I can't see any of them. I can't go into that list. LinkedIn is not going to show me all of those people, which is a shame. However, the 30,000 people that clicked like, and the 3,000 people that commented, and the 3,000 people that shared, I can click on each of those lists and it will show me every single one of them. So one of the first things I want to do is get them to engage, which is why the first thing I say is, if you enjoyed this blog, please click like and click share to share it with your network. Thank you. I do this on every article and it really helps drive engagement. Then I direct people to other content. If you enjoyed this post, please take time to read some of my other posts. If you haven't got other posts, you might want to direct them to your profile or to your company's website. Then you get to the About You section. And this is where people will start to convert because you've earned the opportunity to talk about yourself. So I will tell people what it is I do, how I help. I link it to my profile and my website. I show people what I offer and how they can get in touch with me. Now, every time I put an article out, I get inbound leads from it because I'm giving value and then I'm showing people what I do. This particular blog in 2019 earned me one of the biggest speaking inquiries I had, going all the way over to the States. And that was all from the article and obviously backed up by a personal brand. So these are very powerful forms of content. Some top tips on this. 500 to 1,000 words is your optimum amount. Not too much more, and certainly not anything less. Needs to have a strong, catchy title. If you want someone to click open, you need to give them a reason to. Needs to have a good quality image. So like I had the humor-based image. Images of people also work best. People connect when they see other people in photos. Add value. So the whole article itself needs to be valuable to your prospects and customers. So it could be top 10 tips for 2021 for the yacht industry or for yacht leasing industry, the yacht rental, boat rental, whatever it may be. Make it about your prospects and customers, stuff that's going to help them. Make it engaging, tell a good story, have images and video within the article, really easy to add in, and then always have that call to action and about you section at the very end. Okay, to finish off today's session, I've got some tools that I'm going to recommend you guys to use. So number one is the SSI score. This is LinkedIn's own social selling measurement, free to use. And again, it's with LinkedIn. It's official. It's not something done by someone else. I will send out the link so that everyone can gain access to this. In fact, if you go onto my profile, I did a post yesterday, a poll, actually might be on Saturday, with asking people what their SSI score was, and I had the link in that as well. So anyone who wants to get to it quicker, free to use, click on the link and LinkedIn will give you your score. Gives you a score out of 100 based on 4 key metrics, and basically suggests how good you are at social selling. So these are the metrics. Establish your professional brand. So this is about completing your profile and becoming a thought leader by publishing meaningful posts. Finding the right people. Are you using all the search filters effectively? Are you engaging with insights? So sharing conversation-worthy updates to create and grow relationships, and then building relationships. Are you strengthening your network by connecting with established decision makers and building trust with them? So that's how it measures it. It does it through the algorithm and the data that LinkedIn holds. One thing to kind of remember with this is half of the picture. So having a big social selling score doesn't mean you're good at social selling, because none of these measurements actually contribute how much you've sold. So nothing in this score is filled with how much revenue you generated, how many deals you closed, how much sales you made. These are all the LinkedIn behind the scenes metrics. So you need to back this up with your own external measurement. So this paints half the picture, how you're doing on LinkedIn, but you want to also measure separately, okay, how many sales did you close this month that came from LinkedIn? How many new opportunities did you create this month on LinkedIn? How many new prospects did you speak to? Messages did you send? All that kind of stuff. The SSI score doesn't measure, but it's a good start and it gives you good insights. Another great tool that's come out recently is Shield Analytics. Now you have to pay, you can try for free, but it is an investment worthwhile if you're serious about LinkedIn and social selling. And what it does is it shows you a lot more analytics into your content and your engagement and your reach. LinkedIn doesn't give you access to this sort of data. So it will show you over whatever period of time, your views, your likes, your comments, engagement rate, posts, followers, active users, shares, all these insights in a really easy to use place. So if you are serious about leveraging LinkedIn, this is a valuable tool to use. Finally, auto scheduling. So you can schedule content in advance. So I do that. I have content scheduled to go out whilst I'm busy training, traveling, delivering, whatever it may be. And it means that content can go out whilst I'm still working. What it basically means is I have content working for me whilst I'm also working. So I could be on a Zoom call, closing a new deal whilst I've got a post going out on LinkedIn, generating me opportunities at the same time. A lot of these sites are free to use. but then you pay for extra features. So I pay for the pro version of Buffer, and it allows me to post more in advance across more networks. But, for starting off, usually there is a free version. Buffer is good, and Hootsuite is another one. And again, you can, connect all your different social networks and then schedule across your week, Monday to Friday, Sunday to Saturday, whatever it may be, different times, have content going out, and you literally add in the text, video, customize it with hashtags for each individual network, and away you go. Really easy to use, but it helps ensure you're consistent. There will be days like today and tomorrow where hopefully you're going to be back to back enjoying their Booking Manager Summit and all the amazing talks they have going on. So chances are it might be tricky for you to post content today. I know it is when I attend events. Had I scheduled content in advance, then at least I've got content going out even when I am busy. So very powerful tool, very easy to use, very, very beneficial. That ties in what is quite a hectic advanced social selling session, but we've covered a lot, and I hope there's been some real good nuggets for you, some great search techniques, good tips for using your profile views, some good messaging advice around written, audio, and video messaging, and some top tips around content, creating good articles, and some of the tools that are out there. I'm going to open the floor up now to questions. I think we've had a question come through from this morning's session, which I'm just going to have a quick look at as I pull the chat box up. But for anyone who doesn't have questions right now but wants to reach out later, there's my contact details, website danieldisney.online, and danieldisney@thedailysales.net is the email address. So anyone who wants to ask any questions, now's the time to do so. I believe the team at Booking Manager Summit are going to be providing those questions to me. I'm going to stop the screen share now so we can come up here. Okay. So a question that came through this morning: how do you apply these steps as a company rather than an individual? So to give reference, because this doesn't necessarily have to be exclusive to anyone who was in this morning's session, but there are two ways you use LinkedIn. One is on your personal profile, and the other is on a company page. So a lot of what we've covered in both these sessions is focused on your personal profile. Now, that's where the biggest opportunity lies on LinkedIn, is on your individual your profile. And even if you're working in marketing, I would certainly push the focus on you as an individual compared to your company page. However, I would also make sure you invest the right amount of time in a company page. The difference is you can't do as much on it. With a company page, your focus needs to be on content and valuable content. The key being just try and give as much valuable content, talk less about you and more about them. So again, content like top tips, insights, interviews with experts, all the valuable stuff that you can, so that your audience has a reason to follow and gets as much value from them as possible. That way, you're able to then leverage it 10-20% of the time. When you do promote your product, you're going to drive way more people to it. So I would just at least once a day, every day, have valuable content going out, at least 80% of it being valuable, 80-90%, and then you can start to promote yourself. Most companies do it the other way around. 80-90% of their content is about them. Here's our latest offer, here's our new product, here's our features, here's another case study. People don't want to follow that. People don't want to engage in it. You have to earn that right. So give before you take. So that would be my advice for company page. Everything we've covered in this session and the last one gives you tons of things you can do with the personal profile. Any other questions though, please do ask. Now is the time to ask while I'm here. If anyone has any questions from this morning or any questions from the session we've just done. I know it's quite a lot to learn. I do try and pack in as much as I can. So hopefully everyone's got tons of stuff that they can take away. But we'll just see if anyone's got any more questions. I will be doing this session again tomorrow. So if anyone has questions or wants to go through it again, what I'm going to do is add a couple of extra tips in tomorrow's session as well. So if you can make it, great. I'll provide a little bit more into in tomorrow's advanced social selling strategies as well. But please do reach out, follow me, connect with me on LinkedIn. Feel free to ask questions sort of beyond today. Sort of check out sort of my posts. By the way, I'd love to see everyone who is watching this go and use LinkedIn today. Post about the event. one of the easiest ways to get started. Write a post now, write a post at lunch, write a post at the end of the day, and just talk about what you learned. Talk about the sessions that you attended, the key things that you learned, who you enjoyed watching, listening to, who you're enjoying or looking forward to tomorrow, who you've networked with, who you met, spoken to. Really easy way to get started putting out some content. Write about the event, tag in the event itself, tag in the organizers. Great way to kind of almost guarantee some pretty good engagement. So hopefully I'll get to see some of you guys posting some good content about the event over the next day or two. And please do feel free to tag me in. I will make sure I click like and comment as well. But I think we've got no more questions coming through. So cool, we'll wrap this up now. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I will be back tomorrow afternoon with an extra advanced social selling strategy session. We'll cover everything and maybe a few extra things as well. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of today. Enjoy the other amazing sessions that Booking Manager Summit have put together. Have a great evening, and I look forward to seeing maybe some of you on tomorrow's session. Please do reach out with any questions that you have. Enjoy the rest of the event. And yes, I will speak to you guys all later. Take care.